3D Generative AI. So as we can see, it has been 6 months since my previous video regarding the bust of Decebalus generated using Generative AI. So let's take a look. This will be the case study image, and I have processed the model again over here. So I will open those within a new window, and I will also open the older 3D models which are available over here. So those two as well as this. Now let's take a look at the result. So as you can see, this has been using the fast method. The topology was set to quads, and we have the high polygon. So if I will load the mesh will look like this. The main problem is that, as we can see over here, we are actively working on adding textures to fast refines with quad topology. So I wanted my model to have quads, so I will not have to convert this from triangles. But overall, we're gonna see that the mesh will look like this using the fast refine method. Again, the only drawback is that this will not have the texture. But if I will go over here, this will be using the slow refine speed, again with quads and high poly. And let's take a look at the resulting model. And the model will look like this. If I will go within the wireframe, we're gonna see that there are not that many details regarding, for example, the eye sockets over here. So with texture, those are added over there, but just by the texture, not by the geometry. So let me just open this model as a GLB file. So I will download the final mesh, and I had that download. And within Blender, I will go and have that imported. So the file format will be GLB in this case, from downloads, and it should be one of the last files over here added. So let's take a look. This will be that. I will have this imported, and we're gonna have the mesh added over here within Blender. I will also activate the texture by clicking on this button. So currently I'm using Blender 4.2, and as we can see over here, this will give me a not responding, since it will try to do some rendering using the new renderer, and currently I'm on an older PC. I will leave it like this and see if it will work. If not, I will just start the previous version of Blender. I will trim this video. So looks like it will not go, therefore I will trim the video over here. Okay, so I started Blender 4.1. As we can see over here, I have an update for Blender Kit. I will leave it like this for now. The main problem is regarding the cycle renderer over here. So within the newer version, it crashes on my old graphic card. So currently I'm on a 970 from NVIDIA, so quite an old graphic card. So let me just open that same model over here. So on the download section, this will be the mesh. I will have that imported. We're gonna have that GLB. I see it's not the proper GLB, so let me also filter those, because this was the model car. So by date modified, and I will go all the way over here. This is from today, have it imported. And this is the correct model. If I will enable textures, we're gonna see that this will work. So we see that the newer version of Blender will crash on some GPUs. If I will go back here and I will take a look at the previous models that were generated 6 months ago, again I want to have this as a GLB, and I will have this downloaded. Let's take a look. This has a lot of creativity over here. As we can see, this is set to highest, so I will not add this. But if you're gonna take a look at the file size, the one that I just download is quite large. So we see over here almost 18 megabytes compared to 6.4 with that one. And this will be the other models, but these are far from that, since the creativity was set to highest and the generative AI added a lot of elements that are not really present over there. So maybe this is a little bit closer to that reference. So download the second GLB file over here, and we're gonna see this will be 10 megabytes. Now I will also add those over here. So I know that they will be GLB files. Again, I will filter them by the date modified, and I will go to the file section, and we're gonna have, so let me filter this again, that one and that one, import. And we're gonna have the following meshes over here added as well. So regarding the size, they are not all the same size, but I will just roughly scale them in order to visually compare those. So this is the new model, and these are the previous one. If I will change the shading like this, we're gonna see that actually the geometry will be a lot better over here. So within the newer version, we see over here that the model will be smoothed quite a lot. So this doesn't require so much post-processing. If I will also enable the wireframe, we're gonna see those quads over here added. If I will go for this one, this has been created using triangles, as we can see. We can also shade this smooth. If not, we can always decide to decimate it in order to make it smoother, or apply a subdivision. So let me just add a subdivision level 2 for this. So I press Ctrl 2, and Blender should now add that. But again, since I'm on my older PC, this will take a little bit of processing, since this is a highly dense mesh for a 10-year-old PC. But we have that processed, and if I will click over here, we're gonna see that in this case, that subdivision also created some distortion for the model. So I will have that removed for now. And we have the other model, but overall, I feel like the overall quality of the model, even though this is not that high, so this has the smaller size. Let me just check the statistics over here. So this will be the selected one. We're gonna see a number of faces over here. This will have more faces, even though there will be triangles, not quads. And within this one, this has the least amount of faces, but overall with the texture, this looks to have quite a lot of details, but keep in mind that those are mainly from the texture. Yeah, so overall we see that the quality of the mesh increased. Regarding the texture, there are not so many, let's say, improvements regarding those. But overall, I think that this model is quite good, considering the fact that it was generated using a single image. And if you're gonna take a look over here at the profile of the ear, that again will have some geometry, but most of the information will be added from the texture. Okay, so let me know if you tried any generative AI, either CSM or other. And I will also want to do some comparison between various platforms. So mostly I used CSM for now, but I will also want to do some testing with other platforms, as there have been a lot of teams that started to develop these kind of solutions. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this kind of content. I will position a similar video over here on the left, and I will position a subscribe button to the right. So that's it. Thanks for watching.